Hey guys, JMan here with my spaceship deck breakdown / tutorial. First I'm going to explain the card choices and a few rulings of some of these cards, but explain my card choices mainly because some people may be wondering. If they don't, then okay, but at least I'm trying to validate why. Alright, first off, Morphtronic Lantron. If you watch your deck video, I shouldn't have to explain the effects too much, so we're just going to move on with that. Now, first off, being a light level 1 machine tuner, all playing to his benefit as well as his attack actually, despite being very low, whoop-de-doo. Now, with him, you should be able to make Cataster, or with another one, you can make Trishula, or you can make Bionic, or any level 8 with Fortress, because he's level 7. So you can do some shenanigans with that. Besides that, it's rather simple. Even its defense position effect is really nice, especially when you have to defend from 3 other big meaty attackers. So just really good card. The ruling with Falcon B I want to explain about is if you suicide into another monster with this guy, you can target, even if there's no other targets in the grave other than him, at the end of the when this guy is destroyed by suicide, hits the grave, when his effect kicks in and starts to resolve, you can target him with his own effect, even though he's gone off the field, because all spaceships, unlike Flame Veil Fire Dog or Blackwing Shura the Blue Flame, I think. Yeah, just Shura. Either way, they need to destroy the monster and send it to the graveyard. If they're not on the field when a monster is destroyed, even when they die, or when they die and they don't see the monster destroyed, it doesn't count because they don't see it destroyed. Spaceships are different like that, so you can target him when you suicide him into another monster. Lord British Space Fighter, the ruling with this card, if you attack, use his first effect to attack again, and you destroy another monster right after that, you cannot activate that first effect again because you already have. You can only attack up to 2 times with this card per battle phase. Now, if you, however, decide to use that effect and attack again the second time, you can at least use the other 2 effects that are remaining, which is destroy 1 set card on the field or special summon a token. Victory Viper XX03. Why am I explaining the ruling of this card? Is because actually the last effect, where you special summon a token with this card and it replicates this card to exact everything except for the picture and the name. When this card is removed from the field or flipped face down, when the token's face up, present on the field, the token will destroy itself when it's flipped face down or removed from the field because it does not know what the monster it's supposed to copy looks like. So it blows itself up. Next, with J-Knight. There's no ruling with this card I have to explain currently that I know of, but there is one thing I have to explain about it. It's been errated. Its effect has been slightly changed or altered since its original printing, for whatever reason it may be. It's actually supposed to say, while in face-up attack position, face-up machine-type monsters you control with 1200 or less attack cannot be destroyed by the effects of trap cards. Now, currently, I just said while in face-up attack position. That part is not on this card right now. So, right now, currently starts with face-up machine-type monsters and thereon. So, just so you know, when you look at it, you're right, it doesn't say while in face-up attack position. It is supposed to say that, but they didn't print it right the first time. Alright, card choice reason number 1. Cyber Dragon. Personally, I shouldn't have to explain this in the spaceship deck, first off. Mainly because it adds power, adds more synergy. Also, it baits out Bottomless, Solemn, and Evozar monsters if your opponent falls for it. Alright, and then these 2. Card choice, I shouldn't have to explain this one because it works with the machine monsters, obviously, the light. But this one you're probably wondering. This is in here because it adds, so to speak, power to the deck. It adds meat. It adds you that extra muscle you need, because while the machines are not that weak, although 1200 is kind of low, they are needing, obviously, a little help. Also, this adds more synergy to the deck with Cyber Eltinin as well. How does this do so? You have this. Alright, example number 1. You have this in the grave. You have this also in hand, along with 2 spaceships, whatever combination it is. You can ditch these 2, special summon Fortress if they warning it or bottom it, whatever. Now you also, you've baited a card. You've kind of plussed already, because now your Cyber Elton is live. Once again, if they didn't bottom it, then you can ditch Elton, summon him. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you can just remove all your light machine type monsters from your field face up and from your graveyard. You can special summon Elton and probably go for a game, depending on, of course, circumstances at the time. So that's one thing. Now let's say you have this in the grave, you top deck this, but you have no light machine monsters in your grave or face up on your side of the field. Okay, that's alright, because if you have this in the grave and you top deck this, you can ditch this perfectly fine for Fortress, because it's just like using Machina Force when people used to play the Machina Gear or Machina Gadget decks. It applies very same with Cyber Elton. Works just fine. So that is reasons for that. Now for spawn traps, the ones you may be wondering. Goat Sarcophagus, why not Power Duality, you may ask? Mainly because I didn't want to restrict myself to, because there is a lot of special summoning that this deck can do and does. Cyber Elton, Machina Fortress, Cyber Dragon, although this is a little more optional, but I doubt you're going to tribute for this, and the only way to summon this is special summon, not that. The tokens that this summons, this can special summon, although you can bypass that, and Victor Vapor special summons, but yet again you can bypass that as well. But mind you, all the Spaceships effects are mandatory, so when you cannot, or do not want, or you wish not to at least, not use one of the other two effects presented on this or this, then you have to do one of the other things. So if you're not able to special summon, you're forced to either get this 400 attack, or destroy one face spell or trap card on the field, unless those cannot be applied either way. This one either has to attack again, or destroy one set card on the field. So just know that. I decided to use this because it gets me sometimes quicker to a card than maybe Duality will. Solidarity, in case you're wondering, this card is live more than you think. Cyber Elton only removes light machine type monsters, not Earth, which is what Fortress is. The only way this is going to get removed is by your Overload Fusion, your opponent's Bottomless, or some other card that removes cards from the grave, hand, or whatever. So just know that your Solidarity will remain live. Next, need this guy back. Future Fusion. These both combo very well. Max attack you can get in this bad boy is, if I'm correct, 10,600. But yeah. Next for the traps, Royal Decree. I'm only playing, other than 2 Royal Decrees, 3 other traps. 3. That's very little collateral damage to myself. So, Royal Decree is gonna either kill 1/4 of my opponent's deck, or make this a lightning rod for their spawn trap removal or targets in general. So plus makes my plays less, to me, I don't have to worry as much with that on the field. Bottomless, I want to play this card over Dimensional Prison and Compulse, because if my opponent summons Cyber Dragon and I have, let's say, 2 other machine type monsters on the field, it's not going to benefit me to try to activate Compulse on their Cyber Dragon when they can summon it again, or try to activate Dimensional Prison when they've already contacted into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. I want to be able to respond immediately. And for Return from Different Dimension, this card is your MVC, Most Valuable Card. How is this so? Okay, if I main phase 1, not 2, I have, let's say, these removed. Activate this. Now you get these. Now you have options. What's your options? You can either exceed twice into 2 Utopias. I don't have the second one at the moment. But now you have 5,000 attack with just 2 Utopias. With this you have 7,100. Or you contact into all these into one big gigantic Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for 5,000 attack alone. Or you can do a combination of where you contact for 3, so you get 3,000 attack, and you get 1 Utopia for 5,500, and then you still have attacking. You can negate attacks. Now the beautiful thing is, by doing so, you prevent your monsters from being removed with this card. Also, when they're sent to the grave, however manner they are done, you now have more food for Cyber Elton. Pretty freaking awesome. So that's why, Return is your most valuable card in this deck. in terms of, you know, synergy, combos, and so on. So real quickly, I am going to do one little duel on, example duel, on how I play with this deck. We're going to use, so to speak, your typical plant deck as the imaginary opponent in this scenario. So just keep in mind that it's a plant deck with tour guides, Tengus, Leviers, Zen mains, whatnot. Okay, graveyard and deck are going to be right here, so you can see I'm going first. We're seeing what we get. Okay, summon Jade Knight, set Shrink. Opponent goes, they summon Torg. Let's say summon Thunder King. They attack. Alright, now I'm going to try to keep a track of the life points as best as possible. You know, so, anyways. So, 50 points of damage to him. He's now at 7950. He sets 2. I go. Alright, I'm going to space 1 and I hit Solemn Warning. Dun, da, da, da. I'm going to summon Lord British Space Fighter. He doesn't respond. Attack together for 2200, so that puts him at 5750. He goes, he summons Tour Guide, he exceeds in, alright, brings on our Tengu, brings out Leviathan, removes 1, attacks my Jade Knight. I search. Whoa. So I do, he does 15 to me. Search out Blue Thunder T45. Mind you, Jade Knight searches out any level 4 light machine type monster, not restricted by attack or defense, by the way. You just cannot search out Lantron in this case. Or Gear Frame, because it's not a light attribute. So, I draw. XX. Okay. He has Leviathan, so I'm going to Lantron. Synchro into Catastor. I don't have it currently with me at this current moment over here. So, imaginary Catastor, attack, get rid of Leviathan, and he goes. He doesn't do anything except for set a monster in the back row. I go. Solidarity activates, and I have 2100 monster. Summon, uses Warning on my Victory Viper, kind of redundant. So now it puts him at 3750. Attack, it's just a glow up bulb. He goes. Dark Holes. And he summons Tengu, attacks for 17. I go. Alright, Cyber Dragon. Special. Normal. Boy. He turns to tributes. Okay, so actually, imaginary Catastrophe should be in here. Okay, so he gets Summon of Tengu. Alright, so now with options, I can either go to Cyber Eltanin or Overload Fusion. Or, I mean, make a monster out of it. Knowing my options, I'm going to Overload Fusion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 8 is 56. And we're going into Overdragon. Boom. Now this removes all cards on your side of the field from the field. And now we'll attack Tengu. You put an attack, silly him. Now he's going to take game because he would have to summon the next Tengu. And plus, even anyways, 56 minus 17 is 39, and that would have been enough for game anyways. So there is how this deck works, people. That's just at least one duel. I would have done more, but it takes a lot of time, so to speak, to do that technically, because, you know, each example is like 5+ minutes long, and just doing 1 or 2 is 10 minutes, depending on, you know, length, so to speak, of the imaginary duel. But the deck is relatively cheap. There's a lot of synergy to the deck, and if you do not like the 2 solidarities that I play in the deck, I made it clear in the deck video that you can take them out. At least add an Honest, for crying out loud. The card is amazing in this deck. You have so many light targets, It's crazy. And on top of that, all that they do is, I mean, they attack into your spaceship. You just go honest, boom. So that is why honest is a must add if you're not going to play Solidarity. And if you want, you can play Call the Hornet. If you don't like it, you can add either another Econ or another Shrink, because they also do some beneficial shenanigans for the deck. So that's pretty much it, guys. I've prolonged this enough, but you now know at least some of the card decisions and choices and combos, as well as an example of how this deck works. That's pretty much it. Until next time, people, that's it, and peace out.